Okay, welcome to the stream. First off, they're showing some movie where Paul and the guys are visiting different places in New York, and some young chick is leading them around the city, and they show the thing they did on the Empire State Building where they had the Kiss makeup on it and all of that. I guess this is some sort of introduction. Now they are looking at watches, and we all know Eric Singer is an avid collector. The audio isn't really synced on my video here, but it can. The reason behind that can be because I'm in Sweden, far away. And they have two red armchairs on Paul's podium, you know, the one he's flying out to. So the chick is sitting in one of them, and okay, she said the concert is 40 minutes away. Oh Lord. I was all up for the concert now. So now they're interviewing the Kiss Army. The fans are from all over the place: Mexico, New York, England. So I guess we're up for some maybe pretty lame videos in the beginning of this, before the show starts. They're trying to, I mean, this doesn't really fit the live show. Oh, they have some cool guitars on the podium. Paul's guitar and Gene's axe. Our first guest, she says. So they're going to invite a few guests to talk about Kiss. Peter Chris Angel. Could have been Peter Chris, but unfortunately it's Chris Angel. He's a musician and a big Kiss fan. Yay. All right. Collector. Dressed to Kill was his first album. Okay. He says they're friends of his now. Okay, so is talking about Kiss's willpower and how they realize their dreams. Okay, so he's completely brown-nosing the band. Oh, she has some cool clothes. The chick with Ace on one shoulder and Paul on the chest, and some stars, black and silver, of course. Chris Angel. What a letdown. Okay, now they're starting to talk about Peter Chris. I hope the next guest is, well, who could we hope for? Ace won't be there. Maybe Bruce Kulick. Man, just think of it if Bruce could come up and play some sort of Asylum licks. How's that song? Now he's praising Paul Stanley as the best frontman of all time. We're all in for a treat, she says. Well, that's for sure. Okay, so they're going out in the audience and have some young kids wearing Kiss t-shirts. Seems like they're there where, yeah, they're interviewing a father and his daughter. And the father has seen the band 98 times. There's quite a few fans that have seen them over 200 times. Okay, this is kind of cringe-worthy. So he's promoting his daughter's band. Mm. I never got it why a lot of American journalists scream into the mic. You have the mic in order to avoid screaming, so you can speak. Okay, so the chick has spoken to the band previously, earlier today, and here's her exclusive interview with the Star Child. Okay, let's see what they talked about. So Paul is wearing his, it looks like one of those flags they have at races, black and white squares around the shoulders. And I guess we get the usual answers from him. He's going for the cab story, starting off. One day I will be playing there. Yeah, there it comes. We all heard that one. It's full circle, he says. Okay, that's now he's going to say that he was a fat little boy, I guess. Let's see. Bullied, and the ear thing maybe might come up. We'll see. Okay, she's brown nosing all the way, of course. Uh, yeah, have passion, you guys. Passion. Listen to Paul. Okay, and the guys who tells you that you won't make it are the guys that fail. Maybe that comes. Okay, so Paul said they never took their eyes off the ball. I see here JAD asked, are you going to show the concert? I can't show the concert, so I'm just going to talk about it. I can't really see if we have a picture on the stream. Mm. Okay, now he's talking about when he was a little kid and dreamt about being a rock star. and he created his persona. And now it comes. I was a chubby boy, unpopular and bullied and so on. So if you're a Kiss fan, you've already heard all of this plenty of times. Yeah. Okay. This is, I guess, for the casual fans, some information. Your camera was unplugged. What the hell? Let's try to reconnect it. What the hell? Start. Ah, okay, he's picking the other camera. Well, I guess that'll work. So, David Kiss Army. Okay, now he's talking about what he wants, to be his legacy. And he goes through the routine, the fans made me and all of that. Let's get on to the concert, people. We can't stream, the show. That's impossible. They'll just close us down immediately. But if you want to join and speak about Kiss or talk about the show or what do you think will happen, feel free to join and we'll talk about it. Okay, you have Desmond Child is the next host. Well, that's a bit better. Desmond Child co-wrote "I Was Made for Loving You," "Heavens on Fire," and "Songs of Asylum." And did he write anything for Hard in the Shade as well? I think. Gene never liked Desmond Child and thought keyboards shouldn't be on an album. So Paul Stanley, he has this little lisping sound, Desmond Child. Well, he sounds like what he is. Cesar, I see you have your camera on. Maybe we should add you and you can talk a little bit about. No, you removed yourself. So Desmond Child is talking about how he and Paul started to collaborate. And the first song they actually did was "I Was Made for Loving You." And that went over quite well. It was a mega hit. Maybe Kiss's biggest hit ever. But his favorite seems to be "Who Wants to Be Lonely." That's a deep cut from Asylum in '85. And please remember to join the discussion after the show. We're a bunch of guys at the Kiss FAQ podcast who's going to have a discussion, and you're welcome to join us there. It'll be quite fun to see how the guys react after the last show. if they are affected. Oh no, Desmond Child he is completely bald. Haven't seen that before. He's removed all of his hair. Seems a bit thinner than usual as well. Now he's going to talk about the the songwriting, and Desmond Child says that Paul Stanley is the one who taught him how to write stadium anthems, and it's all because of Paul he's made it. Yeah. Yeah, Paul wrote some good stuff through the years. And he did a lot of stuff for Bon Jovi and Alice Cooper, Joan Jett, Desmond Child. And he's been interviewed now on Paul's little stage, you know, the one he flies out to in the middle of the concert. So he's sitting there with Gene's axe and one of Paul Stanley's guitars, and young hot chick that is interviewing him wearing a Kiss dress, I would say. Seems like it's a leather dress. Actually pretty cool. Only minutes left until the curtain drops. Okay, now they are out in the crowd, and you have 4 guys in makeup. Peter, Gene, and 2 Pauls. Yeah, it's also about the look, they say. No one has ever topped. The concert, Paul, hasn't started yet. There are interviewing people in the audience and so on. So I guess the concert will start in maybe 10 minutes or something. Okay, now they're interviewing guys, and they are explaining how they made their costumes. So pretty good costumes. Sometimes you can see really bad costumes, but these guys have gone the full, you know, gone all the way and put in the effort. Okay, now it sounds like okay, in the 80s. Maybe that was a girl from Australia. Dynasty. The Gene guy has blood all over him. Oh. Okay, now the audience are going to decide who looks the best, and one of the Paul guys are winning. He seems to have made the Dynasty pants, you know, with the pink stuff on it, and he receives them like a little poster. Maybe they could have come up with something better than that. I got a message from one of the Kiss FAQ guys. This is terrible. Yeah, I have to agree. But for the casual fan, it might be pretty interesting. It's not the last live stream I watched was from Dubai, and that was even worse because then they had a guy up on stage who they were going to try and break some records, you know, the loudest bomb or the stuff like that. And then they had a guy coming up on stage, and he said like, well, we can't really say if you broke the record, but maybe you broke the record. And he went on and on for hours, it felt like, and it really stopped the flow of the concert. So this isn't as bad as that, at least. Let's see if I can switch cameras. What happened? What the hell happened with the camera? Okay, so now they're interviewing G. I'm just gonna check if I can fix this. Okay. What's happened? Typical. Settings, camera. If I switch to that. Okay, I have to fix it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so they're still interviewing Gene. And, I don't know. And I got a message from Julian Gill, our fearless leader at the Kiss FAQ podcast. He wrote, "And somebody already spilled their fucking drink in my space." Okay. Well, I guess, Julian, that's just your normal kind of luck. It isn't the first time. Okay, now he's talking about this one. At one point in time, Gene said that he invented this sign and he tried to trademark it. He didn't succeed. But he was pretty early using it. I don't even know if I've seen that many people use it to the extent he did previously. Even though most people say that the sign, it was Ronnie James Dio's sign. But it's sign language. I love you, I think it means, really. Will you broadcast the show here on YouTube? Well, we can't show any video from the actual show, unfortunately. So we're going to talk about it, and then after the show, we're going to have a discussion at the Kiss FAQ podcast, where we will invite some people that actually attended the show. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to these interviews to end. Let's get the show started, because over here it's 2:30 a.m., so it's pretty late. So not too long before the show starts, I think. And Gene, he wears his cap, with a dollar sign that he has actually marked the S with two lines through it on a money bag. And he's really proud he trademarked that one. He speaks about it a whole lot. Now he's talking about how grateful he is to Paul and the fans and so on. Okay, don't say. Okay, new guests. So Paul's son Evan and Gene Simmons' children are there as well. Sophie and Nick. Evan Stanley has opened quite a few of the Kiss shows at this last leg of the end of the road tour. He's pretty good on stage. He kind of reminds me a little bit of his father. He moves around a whole lot, but he's real good at playing the guitar. Nick Simmons, he said he thought that Kiss ended in 99, like a lot of other people. Well, that's not entirely correct. The farewell tour ended in 2001. Nick Simmons give praise to Evan. He thinks he's very good on stage. Yeah, see, Rob Benjamin says Gene also invented rarefied air. Yeah, at times it's almost silly. Yeah, and he has tried out, flying to the middle of the arena, and he's been using those confetti cannons at the end of Rock and Roll All Night. So he's been a part of the show for the last month or so. And unfortunately, none of these guys will be able to make it on their own. They are too associated with their parents, I think. Evan is a great artist, but I don't think anyone will ever view him as anything else than the son of Paul Stanley, and the same goes for Sophie and Nick. Nick has had some problems. He's been copying. He at one point in time um, he was pretty good at drawing comics, but then people found out that he was copying the style from another comic, and that kind of died out. And he also recorded some music for example, for one of Bruce Kulick's records. Bruce Kulick, the guitarist for Kiss, from 84 to 96. Yeah, this is about the dads, Nick says. Nick's so cool in interviews. Um, So Evan says that Paul might want to enjoy a break, maybe do some art, um, and have some quality time with the family, because they've actually been on tour almost for 50 years. They haven't had a lot of hiatuses, not a lot of pauses, not a lot of breaks, no recess. So they sure deserve it. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the brand after this. Okay, Rob, Nick wanted to be Jim Morrison. Yeah, sort of. He kind of reminded me of Jim Morrison when he sang. But there's nothing wrong with Jim Morrison. And you also wrote Soul Station. Yeah, Paul did. Deb, he tried out some soul music. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I guess there were maybe a tune or two that were pretty good. He wrote like half of the record by himself, and then half of the record were covers. And I really couldn't tell the covers apart from his own music, so he managed to make it sound like soul music. And of course, he had a big band with a lot of great singers backing him up, because, as we all know, his voice isn't what it was back in the day. But I sure enjoy, rocking out to Heaven's on Fire with Paul belting it out, or something like Take It Off from Revenge in 92, or some of the early stuff, I Stole Your Love, oh, Making Love, I Want You. Oh, there are a lot of good songs with Paul singing his ass off. Heavy Metal Gaming, I personally think Paul and Gene are sick of each other, and it's been that way for a while. Yeah, I guess they're prisoners in paradise, sort of. They've tried solo projects. None has really been that successful. Paul did that solo tour in the late 80s. He did another one in the mid 2000s, and Gene has done solo tour in somewhere around 2018-19. And well, the diehards loved it, but none of their records, their solo records, ever sold, you know, anything. And not even when they released them in '78. Those solo records really bombed. Even though some of those albums are really great, I really enjoy Ace Frehley's and Paul Stanley's albums. Cool stuff. So these interviews are going on forever. Now they have put a young girl on stage. I don't know who this is. Okay, she's talking about someone who is the best person in the world. So it's a love fest, and they are praising the band. Of course, they have to do that. So it would be strange if they didn't do that. Okay, Haywood Yodome, Kiss, same set list for the last 20 years. Well, that's almost true. They haven't changed it up a whole lot, but you know, I think this last tour is probably their most successful tour of all time, so they must do something right. And I enjoyed it. I actually saw three shows on this final tour. One in Norway and two in Sweden. And I sure as hell had a good time, even though they played almost identical set lists. Come to think of it, I think they played identical set lists. So, a link to the show. Well, you can buy it. It's not that expensive. I bought it for $21, I think. But make sure that you join the Kiss FAQ podcast after this stuff. After the show, we'll be having a discussion where you're all welcome to join. Okay, Haywood saw them on the Animalized tour. That must have been quite a thrill. You know, the Animalized tour was sort of a revenge for them. It was the first time they were successful again after, really being unpopular in the early 80s. Lick It Up was a good record. Creatures of the Night in '82 was a good record as well. But it was the Animalized tour that made people come to the concert once again. And it was actually the most successful tour when they didn't wear makeup. And there's a great concert with video from Detroit in '85 called Kiss, Animalize, Uncensored. Go and watch that one. That's awesome. Now they're interviewing Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. Okay, what are you guys going to miss most? It'll be interesting to hear. Okay, so Eric Singer will miss when the small kids are looking at Gene and being afraid. No, Tommy. Okay, Tommy says that Eric looks at Gene as his second father. Yeah, I think they have a good relationship, and Eric always plays around with Gene, being kind of cheeky. Jimmy, I like Unholy a lot. That album gets forgotten about. You're talking about the Revenge album. Well, Revenge really was released at a bad time. Grunge had just, started, and everyone wanted to listen to Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and there really wasn't any room for the old acts. I remember watching Iron Maiden in a small place in, I think it was '95. They had a new singer. Bruce didn't sing, but a few thousand people were there. And Kiss had the same problem, and people didn't really listen to that album. And I do agree, Unholy is one of the coolest Kiss songs. Mean Gene was back, And if you go to YouTube, go and watch the Unholy video. I think it's the best Kiss video of all time, you know, short format video. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you. I guess I'll see you in, well, I don't know how many hours. You know, it's getting kind of late here. It's almost 3 a.m. I'm not sure if I can make it to the podcast. We'll see. Oh, you don't have to subscribe to this channel. This is just something I used to. I wanted to do this on the Kiss FAQ podcast, but you know, you guys want to do the show after. But I enjoy, you know, having some company. There's no one around here. Oh, now it starts. Led Zeppelin. Okay. Kiss Army banners on the sides of the stage. So now we're just moments away from the show. Oh, this is playing Love Gun. An instrumental version of Love Gun. Normally they played Led Zeppelin. Maybe it has something to do with the rights or something. I haven't heard this instrumental version. Jeffrey, I remember when Eric Carr replaced Peter Criss. Okay, I wasn't around back then, but I remember when Eric Carr died from cancer in 91. 24th of November. On this exact same date as Freddie Mercury. So no one cared about Eric Carr in the media. There was nothing. Because Freddie Mercury was, of course, this awesome star, unique singer. So that was sort of sad. But Eric will always be remembered by the Kiss Army. He's always been loved, and he's been very good at, you know, hanging out with fans. He was very down to earth, and you know, he was really lucky landing that gig. He was repairing gas stoves when he landed the Kiss gig, so I guess his dream came true. Oh, now the intro starts. So you see Earth, and now they're going to zoom in on Madison Square Garden, hopefully. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And this is kind of fun. They've used the same video for years now. You know, they show it on the screens where they come out on stage, but it's an old video. But I guess it works. Paul's going to kick at the camera soon. Let's see it. Yeah, there it comes. Oh, he does the same thing every time. Okay, someone was at MSG last night. There was a girl in the first row. She streamed the whole show on her phone, so I watched. Okay, you watched last night's show in full. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, someone will for sure stream it. I just want to have some company watching this. Now it starts. Okay. Ba-dum. Detroit Rock City. And there won't be a whole lot of surprises. This looks pretty much like their old gigs, but it looks awesome. I think if I can change the quality a little bit to a higher quality, I'll try the highest one, see if it works. Oh, the flames are insane. And they have the inflatable dolls at the sides of the stage. Oh, Paul almost missed the cue there on the backing track, the vocals. Oh Lord, it sounds like he sings some of the stuff live. Everybody's gonna move their feet. This is such a great song. Detroit Rock City. All the riffing in it is really cool. Rock City, get up. Everybody's gonna move their feet. Get out. You know, if you can't play the guitar, this is a great song to start with. So simple. Yeah. Biddle-dee-doo. Really cool bass line. Boom. Bee boom. Get up. Everybody's gonna move their feet. Everybody's gonna leave their seat. Ooh, a high scream from Paul. I would like some shots of the audience. They haven't filmed the audience. Well, you have the cell phone audience, of course. I remember being at a concert in '97 and almost getting my ass kicked by all the audience moving around all the time. And at the end of the show, when people left the show, there were, sneakers and stuff everywhere on the ground. And you really had to follow the crowd. It was at Stockholm Stadium. So I remember being moved like 20 meters in a few seconds from side to side. You just have to, step along with the rest of the crowd. Otherwise, you would get trampled. That really doesn't happen anymore. The radio, oh, it goes. You could place a mirror on the floor. Yeah, I didn't think of that. That was a great idea. Should have told me earlier. Turn the camera towards the TV. Well, then they will just close this stuff down, unfortunately. But imagine it as any other concert from this tour. It's not really that different. So Gene is trying to get the audience going. Pretty lame audience. Pretty good at... let's see if you see Julian. He's somewhere around there. I'm from Sweden, and there are actually quite a few guys from Sweden that went over for the final two shows. I don't know if they're up front. Let's see if we can see any of them. At my eyes. Oh my God, no time to turn. I haven't really been impressed by the filming so far. It's mind-blowing that this is the final concert. I mean, they look so vivid. Ooh, that's a big explosion. Down, 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 down. They always do the same poses after the first song, pointing at the audience. Great response from the audience. Okay, the second song, Shout It Out Loud, a classic from Destroyer. If you haven't listened to Destroyer, it's a great album. Even if Mark from the Kiss FAQ podcast really won't agree with me, he hates that album. Well, you can phone in. You can join the podcast after the show and tell Mark as it is. Destroyer is quite a good album, at least to me. Okay, Mark, the pyro was pretty big last night. I'm guessing this will be the same thing. Yeah, sure as hell will be. Shout it out loud. Okay, when I saw the band, they didn't have shout it in big letters, so that's a new thing. Big letters at the top of the big screen. Paul sure as hell don't look a day over 40 moving around. Gene looks great. He's playing his BC Punisher, I think it's called. Black and white. And Tommy is using one of his ESP signature guitars. And Paul is, of course, playing the Ibanez. This one. Such a cool looking guitar. I really would like to have the You know, the one with mirrors, fractured mirrors. But I couldn't really afford it. Or this was good enough. Now the audience is singing along to Shout It Out Loud. Mark. Destroyer is a terrible album. Well, I don't think... Have you ever met anyone, Mark, that felt the same about Destroyer? That it was terrible? The lights are really spectacular. Lasers going all over the place. And now the song ends. Boom. And Gene is drooling. I mean, it looked kind of cool when he was 25. But when you're at his age, you can't help but feeling, is that, you know, just happening? Or, you know, he's drooling because he's old. I don't know. Okay, now Paul will speak to New York. Let's hear what he has to say. How you doing, people? Classic Paul. How you doing, people? This is the end of the road. I haven't seen your preview of Alternative Alive 2 Kiss Remasters. I have to watch that. Okay, celebrating what we did together. And we couldn't have done this without you. Always works. The audience seems to be in it. If you look at the audience, there's a lot of people that don't have hair anymore. So it didn't look like that in '97 when I watched them the first time. Announcement. All the people up top, we can feel you. Oh, make some noise. Ah, that sounded pretty good, Paul. And Paul is now playing his golden Ibanez. It's not very subtle. People over here, let me hear you. He does that old shtick. People over there, let me hear you. Oh, voice crack. Wild animals on the floor make some noise. Classic. First time I heard that was when I watched that Animalized Live Uncensored video from '85. He used that line as well. So he's been using it for at least 30 years. Or 35, I can't even keep count. And now he's dividing the audience, you know, like this. Whoa. Whoa. That's a good shtick, I think. Works well. And now they're filming the audience. Let's see if we can recognize anyone. Close up on the first row. Oh, I didn't recognize anyone there. Yeah, the people are into it, and you see everyone, you know, up top are raising their fists. And let's see who's the winner. At times he says which side is the best one. He's still doing it, and people are screaming their asses off. So close, he says. Well, okay. Everybody, let me hear you. We got a lot of stuff. We got old stuff. We got older stuff. Yeah, they don't have a lot of new stuff. Starvid, the show has started. They have played, let's see, 3 songs, I think. Deuce. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Deuce from the first album. Ooh. Actually, one of my favorite versions of this song is from a later record called Alive 3 in the 90s. It was released in 93. That's sort of a heavy metal version of Deuce. You can check it out on Spotify. Alive 3 Deuce. Gene sounds so sinister singing this one. Crying all your tears. Baby, do the things I says to do. Do it. Oh, that's the girl from the... they're filming the girl from Three Sides of the Coin. If you've listened to that show. She was wearing some sort of silver thing. Didn't hide a lot of her stuff. It was pretty... a lot of skin. Don't put your man behind your ears. Yeah, and I really don't know what this song is about, but to me it doesn't matter. He's worth the deuce. What do you think? The deuce? The deuce, isn't that like the two of spades or something? And dropping a deuce, and I think there's a place in New York called Deuce, and I don't really know what this song is about, but it rocks. He's worth the deuce solo, Tommy. Okay, Kiss Remasters film says pay-per-view price went down to about $10 just before the show stream. Yeah, that's a steal. It's worth $10. I think I paid $21. It sure as hell was worth it. I mean, it's the final show, you guys. At least we think so. Gene's voice sound different in this show. Not as tough. It sounds more clean. Well, it's not as clean as it was on Crazy Nights from '87. That's the cleanest I've heard his voice. He tried to sound, I don't know, romantic or sexy or something on that album. Sounded pretty cool. So Tommy is slaying it. He knows these songs by heart. He knew them even before he joined Kiss, because if you don't know it, you guys out there, Tommy Thayer was part of a tribute band, a Kiss tribute band, before he joined Kiss, and he played Ace Frehley. A girl's showing up at her back, and she has, Kiss faces all over her back. Well, now they're doing the deuce dance, wah. Yeah. That's a good song, you guys. And Gene said that he stole that riff from the classic Rolling Stones song. Oh, now one classic Rolling Stones song, Bitch. Here's one of my favorites, War Machine from Creatures of the Night. Yeah, War Machine. Actually, War Machine, I think, was co-written by Bryan Adams. You know, the guy who wrote that song for the Robin Hood film in '91. What was that one called? Love. You know what I'm talking about. You know, that classic ballad. This is so heavy. War Machine. They've used the same graphics for, I think, almost decades now. Some sort of dragon flying around. It looks cool. And Kiss Remasters Films is writing, what is this big announcement at the end of the show? I really don't have a clue. Most of the time when Kiss has had these sort of big revelations, these big announcements, it's been such a letdown. You know, it's a new thing in the merch stand or something like that. Yeah, everything I do, I do it for you. That's the name of the Bryan Adams song. A real good ballad and a really good film. Go back and watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from '91. Perfect matinee. But I really enjoy Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner. That, I think, is one of my top 10 movies of all time. Great movie, great scenery. And, you know, the Indians or the Native Americans are portrayed in a, pretty good way. Oh, the solo in this part is so cool. Vinnie Vincent. Wow, 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 wow. And then they hold the tone. And then the drums comes in again. They start. This is probably one of top 5 heaviest Kiss songs of all time. And it works live. It's not like Unholy that someone mentioned at the top of the show. Unholy never worked live, even though the studio version is perfection. Tommy plays Gibson and Epiphone. Sorry, that's true. I meant to say Epiphone, you know, that Gibson copy sort of. Yeah, that's true. Epiphone. He's using a white one right now. I think it's called White Angel or something when he sold it. Yeah. Okay, so TD says he wasn't able to buy a ticket. There were some problems when he tried to buy the ticket. I'm a war machine. Oh, couldn't do that. Let me hear ya, mother truckers. 3. Heavens on Fire. This was what started it all for me. Back in, I think, 85. I still remember hearing it the first time. It was actually in a tent, not too far away from here, at a friend's house. No, I was visiting a friend, and we were supposed to, do a sleepover in a tent. And he had this black cassette, a copy of Animalize, and he played this song. And since that day, I've been a Kiss fan, and I probably will be until the day I die. Thanks for streaming this. Well, it's really a thank you, because I need some company. You see, I'm all alone here. There's no Kiss fan within miles, so I need you guys to take part in this. It's more fun like this. So, Heavens on Fire, such a cool party song, and the vocals on the original is crazy good. And you know that intro, the yodeling thing he does, was actually a way of him warming up his voice. It wasn't meant to be on the song, but they kept it, and it's such a classic intro. Yeah, we're here with you. Yeah. With me, heaven song. And this is really simple to play. So if you want to start playing guitar, this is probably one of the easiest songs you can ever learn. Whoa. Oh, they have toned down, so it's so hard to play while listening to it. Oh. And now's the guitar solo. They made a habit out of not having a guitar solo on the lead single. In '82, they released I Love It Loud, a great song. Really not a guitar solo on it. And Lick It Up, the year after, '83, no solo. They just had this kind of simple thing. And on Heavens on Fire, they don't have a guitar solo either. But I still love all those songs. Lick It Up has been played so much, so I'm a bit tired of it. So TD says he even likes the song "I" from The Elder. Well, that's a kind of a cool song. I don't like the, this thing that they do in the song. But other than that, it's a cool song. And it sounded great when they did it on the Kiss cruise a few years back. Now the audience is singing. Whoa, heaven song. Ba, 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 oh. It's just a great song. Oh, I'm getting chills listening to it. The hair at the back of my arm standing up. You guys, I can't really believe this is the end. It's a great victory lap they've done, but it's also a bit sad, of course. All our heroes are getting older, and we are as well. But we're not that old. Kiss will tour again. Entertainment videos and more says Kiss will tour again. It's not there. I don't think they will tour again, but they might play a Las Vegas residency or something like that. They won't be over here in my neck of the woods. Oh, now he's using this guitar, the black one. Paul. So. Okay. It comes from the album Creatures of the Night. Let's see. I Love It Loud. It has to be I Love It Loud. Yeah. I Love It Loud. I guess Kiss was really disappointed that this didn't do more for the band, because it was such a, at the time it really fit 82. I Love Rock and Roll was a hit back then, and this isn't too far away from that one, but this was never a hit, and they tried it 10 years later when they released Kiss Alive 3. This was the lead-off single, and it didn't do anything then either. But it's always been in the Kiss set since 82. And some people think it's too repetitive and been done to death. But I still enjoy it. And I watched them. I saw the band 2 nights at Dalhalla in Sweden. And this one went over real well. I love it. Hang from Madison. Two-fisted till the very end. No more treated like aliens. Not gonna take it. Huh. Wanna hear it loud. Right. It's such a great song. Okay. Project Gemini says Kiss will not tour again. Kiss 2.0 will be Paul's son, Gene's son, with Tommy and Eric. Until they need to replace Tommy and Eric. They put some other guys. Well, that would be something. People are asking about stream links. I have no... if you want the stream, go and buy it on ppv.com. Otherwise, wait until tomorrow and it'll be on YouTube, I guess, the whole show. But you want to see it live as it's happening. As it's happening. It's the final show. Of touring Kiss, at least. Oh, there's a kid in Ace Frehley makeup in the audience, like 5 years old. It looks really cool. I want to hear it loud. I love it. And the dad is also wearing Ace Frehley makeup. Don't want no compromise. One more time. Yeah. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Entertainment thinks Kiss will be back. It's a money grab. Maybe. Engineer's Quest. As much as I love Kiss, it's time for them to end it. We've been given so very much to listen to and watch. It's time for them to be with their families and enjoy other things that they love to do. Okay, now it's the fire breathing. So Gene is checking the wind, which way it blows, adjusting the sword, and now it's ready to blow fire. Let's see it. Okay, slow motion now of fire. Yeah. Boom. Never gets old. And then it does the chest pounding. Ooh. He didn't. He had a problem back in the day. At times he managed to set himself on fire, his hair on fire, because he used hairspray that was flammable. Paul is talking to the audience. He's doing the same. We're just getting started. He always says that. A little more recent. Okay, the song from Sonic Boom. This is where people go and pee. So, actually, I have to go and take a leak. You know, it's yeah. If I put them here, you can hear a little bit. Isn't that a classic? Well, that's a classic. You have to go and pee when they played Say Yeah. I did it when I watched them earlier this year live. And the problem is getting up in age. Your bladder doesn't really work like it used to do. And I like to be up front. So if I'm there watching the opening act and Kiss, I have to, hold it in a few hours, and it's getting harder when you get up in age. Never had that problem before. This was the first time I had to, get away and do it. No Bruce Kulick. No, I didn't think it would be either. Unfortunately. They could have used him as a guest in the beginning instead of that Angel Chris Angel, or whatever his name is. Bruce Kulick would have been a much better choice, and the fans would have gone crazy. I mean, Kiss still look great on stage. I mean, and there's a close-up of Sam the Serpent, an old stage prop they used in the 70s that reappeared on this tour. Big Snake. Actually, Sonic Boom isn't that bad. They tried to sound a bit more like they did in the 70s. I wish they would have done that when they actually had the band that, existed in the 70s. When they, in 98, did Psycho Circus, they should have had the same approach and tried to make it sound like the 70s. That could have been cool. Hellface. Hellface, he's on every stream I've ever seen, I think. You sure as hell must be a big Kiss fan. Thumbs up to you. Well, yeah, Paul is using, I think it's a Flying V. Black Flying V. He has, I wonder how many guitars he has. He's used quite a few cool ones through the years. The ones he used on the Crazy Nights tour are not in that category, if you remember those. Small things look like shite. But other than that, I think he has used cool guitars all the way through. But the best one is of course the original Ibanez, the black one. That's the coolest one. Yeah, so they are rounding off Say Yeah now. And if you would like to talk about this concert or Kiss in general, you can join us after the show at the Kiss FAQ podcast. Me, Mark, Lonnie, Ken, and Julian, he is at the show now. He will be joining us. And we'll talk about our impressions and what the future holds and so on. And you can join if you want to. Now they're going to go old school. Haven't they done that all night? Here's a song. Okay, he's talking about the early shows at Coventry and Queens. Hellface, I get around. Yeah. Mark, didn't you even buy the stream? Cheap Canadian. Maybe it was more expensive over there. Yeah, that's great that you provided the link so people can watch it. If you don't have the green to pay, that's a good way of listening to it. Oh no, this is not very rock and roll. New York City, we're home. Okay. Start playing something now. Oh, let's do some 80s instead. Yeah, cold gin. Woo. Maybe Ace's best riff ever. This one is pretty cool as well. You know, Rocket Ride. Cold gin. This was great live. I'm talking about gin. Yeah. People always people don't like Tommy playing Shock Me, you know. But this one seems to be okay. Yeah. Cold gin. I really like the bass. My heater's broke, I'm so tired. I need some fuel to build a fire. The landlord's gone, I'm a down and out, yeah. The landlord's gone, I'm a down and out. Down and out. Cold gin time again, yeah. That was one of the things missing in Kiss through the 80s. You know, one or two cool A songs on the albums. And I don't know if you know this, but he has recently released a new single, Ace Frehley, called 10,000 Volts. Pretty cool little song. So go and check it out on YouTube. He's made a pretty cool video for it, so he's still around, making new music. So people are saying that it's a carbon copy of last night's show. Yeah, of course. But I mean, if you do a perfect show, why not do it twice? I really am over the thing, you know, I've been for a while, you know, that they should alter the set list. I actually this year when I watched them, I wanted to hear the classics because it was the last time. Even though I've heard them so many times, I wouldn't like them to, you know, switch cold gin for deep cut. No, I like my cold gin. Actually, I don't like gin. I'm more into beer. This part of the song, actually Gene wrote this part of the song. Ace has given him credit for this part, you know, this one. This one. Boom, 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 boom. That's Gene. He stuck that at the end of the song. Oh. Let me see your hands. Bow. Cold gin time again. The Fonz. You wanted the best, you got depressed. The biggest scam in the land. Miss. Fake singing, fake farewell tours, and 2 fake members. Same boring songs every show for decades. Well, yeah, you could actually say that. But me as a Kiss fan, I love the songs. And I know Paul has problems. Even Britney Spears and Madonna and all the big acts are using a bit of help. Of course, I would prefer if he could sing them live, but he can't. So I'd rather take this than nothing. And he still looks the part. I mean, if you could see him on stage, I mean, he's still the coolest frontman of all time. Yeah. He's shaking his head now. He has a black fang with a little star, you know, where it splits. Looks cool. Let's see here. VTech666 says Paul has problems, all right. Yeah. Oh no, guitar solo. I've never really been a fan of guitar solos. Not drum solos either. it's the start of the Ace Frehley solo. Yeah, I guess he's copying the solo quite a bit, Tommy. Extended guitar solos. I never really understood it. The best guitar solos are probably Parasite, sort of a melodic solo with the acisms included. He has some figures that he likes to play, but Parasite is a great solo. What else? I think that's actually. I think Deuce is a cool solo as well. The early records. Some of his best stuff were from the first 3 albums. Unfortunately, the 2 first albums sound like shite. So I really never go back and listen to those 2. I listen to other versions of the early songs. I have to check some things are dropping in on Facebook. Let's see, what is it? Okay, now we're into Tommy's solo. So he's going to shoot the rocket soon. Diddle. So I wonder if Ace bought the pay-per-view. What do you think? Did he buy the pay-per-view and watch Tommy? I don't think so. Maybe Peter did. Maybe one of them are there at the show. I don't know. Some people said that they saw Ace's manager there last night, so they were hoping he would be on stage, but if you've been following the band, you know that won't happen. Okay, the solo is continuing. Now he's getting ready to shoot the rockets. People are going to the bathrooms, taking a leak. Okay, a close-up of his rockets on the guitar. I don't think I've seen them that up close before. It looks like he has 3 rockets mounted at the top of the guitar, at the guitar neck. I really don't know how it works. If it has to be like he shoots like an explosion, and then they detonate something up, in the lights. It doesn't really shoot anything, I think. It's like a firecracker. Yeah. Oh, Lord, he shot one of the big screens. How are you going to fix that, Tommy? He's getting some love from the audience, actually. I think I saw Craig Gass, the comedian, up front. I don't know if you've heard about Craig Gass. He's probably the best guy at making Gene Simmons impressions. So he he really sounds like Gene Simmons. He's done some skits on the Howard Stern show. So if you go and search for Howard Stern, Craig Gass on YouTube, you'll find some cool clips. Especially the one when Gene comes to the studio and this comedian goes all out. Gene Simmons on Gene Simmons. He's there in makeup. Craig Gass is in makeup and tries to sell crap. Kiss crap. Just go to kissonline.com and buy Kiss toilet paper. And actually, Kiss toilet paper has existed. They did they worked with Hello Kitty and released a toilet paper with, those kitties wearing Kiss makeup. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Okay, end the solo now. Yeah, he's shooting stuff. Tommy Thaya! Yeah! Oh, cool lights. And the audience is wearing some sort of wristband, with lights on them. Looks kind of cool. I guess they got them for free. How could we not end where we all started? Paul says. Yeah, I think it's the best place for them to end. Unless they do the Las Vegas residency in a year or two. What's now? Maybe Psycho Circus. Okay, lick it up now. Before you were born. Wait till you know me better. This was a huge hit over here in Sweden. I don't know about America, but this really kick-started the band over here, and they played Scandinavia in '83 and '84. I know Unmasked was a big hit in Norway, a neighboring country, but didn't do much here. And actually the first #1 record in Sweden was Psycho Circus. That was the first one that made it to #1. Patty, does anyone feel that they've wasted their money? I like this. I mean, what do you get for 21 bucks? I think this is, at least it's a whole lot better than the last pay-per-view I bought. It was from Dubai. There was no audience, and there was lame guys on stage talking about, I mean, not in the band, guys that went on stage and talked about records that they tried to break, that they didn't manage to break. It was terrible, but I still had a good time watching that, mainly because I watched it with, Ken Keenan from the Kiss FAQ podcast and Julian Gill from the Kiss FAQ podcast. So we talked during the show, and I enjoyed that, and that's why I did this tonight. So TD asks, what do you guys think will be the big announcement? Yeah, write your answers. And VTech says, lots of fans got screwed on the Dubai deal. Well, that's for sure. They were promised a DVD, a Blu-ray, vinyl, and all sort of stuff. They didn't get anything until a few years later, actually. I have a friend that bought, like the platinum package. It was expensive. And 2 or 3 years later, he actually got some stuff. Not the stuff he was promised, but some stuff that made him satisfied. So they actually... Oh, Paul is playing a green Ibanez. I don't know if I've seen that before. And Tommy is playing his blue... let's see, so I'll say this, an ESP. It's an ESP. The Gibson copy, so to say. Well, the guitars look great, the guys look great, and now they're going into this shtick with playing a Who song, I think it is. Yeah, what's it called? Na na ni na 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 na. This one. Oh, but the light show would blow your mind if you would be there. It looks spectacular. So I guess Kiss started out as a rock band and like a New Year's, a New Year festival. Yeah, it looks visually, it's extremely cool. MCJ Kyle actually saw them in Baltimore. You weren't robbed when you were in Baltimore? I actually watched, I've started to rewatch that series that takes place in Baltimore. What's it called? The Wire. Yeah. I really enjoyed it, but I guess it's been a decade since I watched it. I have to see if it was as good as I remembered. But Baltimore wouldn't be a place I would like to visit after watching that show. So you saw them in Woodlands, Utah. TX, is that Texas maybe? I guess. Okay, they're rounding off. Lick it up. And Peter, no, not Peter. Eric is wearing a t-shirt with golden cats. And he has a cool vest over that t-shirt. I have to check if Gene still has the bananas on his boots. I've forgotten about that. Yes, they are there. 4 bananas, I think, on the boots. No. Patty Como. I met them in New York at an autograph party in San Goody record store. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, it's Texas. Peter should be there. Well, Peter, Ace, Vinny, Bruce. That would have been cool, but there's really no reason for Kiss to pay them to be there. They would have to be there because they wanted to. Because it's pretty much a sold-out concert, a sold-out tour, one of their most successful tours ever. Why would they put Ace and Peter on stage? I think they could have done it the other way. They should have recorded some sort of movies that they could show in between songs or before the encore. Would be pretty cool if Ace had a message and Vinny, Bruce, and I guess there aren't any more left. Mark died in 2007, I think, and Eric died in 91. Oh, what a classic Paul Stanley line. Take a look at yourself. You're beautiful. Yes, always works. VTech says, because Paul and Gene won't pay. Well, why would they? Why would they pay them anything? I don't really see why. They don't really need them at this point in time. They needed them in 96, for sure. I mean, after Carnival of Souls or even after Revenge, they couldn't really... That was the last tour they did as a non-makeup band, and it was a failure. So in 95 they started to do those conventions. They stole that idea from the fans and made an official convention tour where they could play for 1,000 diehard fans instead of selling 2,000 or 3,000 tickets in an arena. So They really had nowhere to go but to go back. Nostalgia. And then they needed Peter and Ace, and Peter and Ace saved them. And then Peter and Ace metamorphed into Tommy and Eric. Okay, the audience is chanting Gene, 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 because it's going to start Dr. Love. That's a cool song. Such a simple song. Cool riffs. Actually, just chords. Need my love, baby, oh so bad. But you know, during the chorus, the guitar sounds like a bass, I think. It sounds like... But I guess Gene was behind that, so he played a bass line and told the guitarist to play that. MCJ Kyle has made another comment. I think the major announcement is that they are bringing back KissCon. And I guess that's Kiss conventions. Well, that could work. It was cool back in the day in 95, and they only toured for a short period of time. I remember the banner at the back, in the back of the band said Kiss Conventions 1995, 1996. But they only played the conventions during a summer. They started in Australia. They wanted to play in Japan, but it didn't work out. So they started in Australia, and then they played in America for a month or two, and then it just ended with a classic album from Kiss, Kiss MTV Unplugged, where you really can... You know, if there were doubters that Kiss couldn't play and sing, go and listen to that album. Great album. And Inderwise Robert, he says, I hope they announced the next Off the Soundboard release. Yeah, I hope they continue with those. Of course, it all depends on did they sell enough? I don't know. It was kind of cool that they released an Off the Soundboard with Mark St. John. I had no clue they still had that. It sounded like crap, but it was cool to hear at least once. And I liked the Tokyo 2001 album because it featured Ace and Eric Singer. And I think that lineup, I guess they only played about maybe 20 shows, but was a cool lineup, you know, musically. And I remember Ace being happy with Eric joining the band. What beer are you drinking, Steven? Well, it's... I don't know how to say it in English, but it's not a whole lot of alcohol in it. So therefore I can drink quite a few and I don't get drunk. I like it that way. I like beer, but I don't like to be drunk. And Gene is doing baby voices on stage. No, I don't know why. I am the doctor. The doctor. Low. Yeah. And if you're talking about the brand, it's a Swedish brand called Mariestad. It's really good. It started in 1848. I guess America wasn't even founded. Yeah, it was founded back then, but you're a young country. 1776. The Right to Carry Arms. Ooh, Making Love from Rock and Roll Rover. This is a cool riff. Sort of a deep track. This is a song they added pretty late in the tour. Do the things that we wanna do. Come on, baby, don't leave me sad. You're good looking, the best I've had. Making love. Love. Yeah, they've actually been playing this. I remember they started playing this on the. I think they started playing Making Love late on the Revenge tour, or maybe, they did some tours in South America in '94, and they played Making Love there for sure. Heavy song. Paul did a whole lot of cool riffing on Rock and Roll Over. I Want You, Making Love, and a few other. Mr. Speed, it's a cool riff. Oh no. Project Gemini reminded me, this is where the Paul and Tommy guitar duel happens. That's actually the lamest thing they've been doing. The guitar duel. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. Well, I guess Gene needs to sit down for a while. Jupa says, Ace Frehley says Paul Stanley has 7 days to apologize for comments he made on the Howard Stern show about him and the original Kiss lineup early this month. Well, actually, if you watched the next episode, he said that on the Eddie Trunk show. Eddie Trunk does a whole lot for metal, so I appreciate his work through the years. I've listened to them for, I guess, at least 2 decades. But Ace actually kind of got over that. And if you listen to him lately, he said, well, it's all water under a bridge, sort of. But during that interview, when he said that, Ace, he sounded, a bit drunk. He was way out there, and Eddie Trunk tried to stop him from saying too much shit. He was trying to, calm down, Ace. But Ace wouldn't have anything to do with that. He just went on and on about this. You need to retract that statement, or I will show some dirt that I have in the vault. Vault. Actually, go listen to 10,000 Volts by Ace Frehley. Just released the other day. Cool song. And what about Howard Stern? I loved Howard Stern in, I guess, maybe the mid 2000s. I had a lot of great times listening to his show, but lately it's become more and more like all the rest, like the Jay Leno's and the David Lettermans, playing it safe, unfortunately. But I liked him back in the day. Okay, now the guitar duel has started, and it's not good. Bow beats, love the duel, killer style page licks. Inderwise Robert, they should have dropped the lame ass guitar duel and added another song. Yes, but this is here because Gene needs to go to the bathroom or take a rest at least. But they could have come up with a more exciting thing than this. Anything would have been cooler than this. Ah, this is terrible. This is actually not good at all. Do you want to hear some? Sounds like this. Yeah. You're not missing much. At least the guitars look cool. Tom is using his blue, and Paul is using one of his classic Ibanez. I think it's a purple one. Purple or gray? Can't really tell. This is, well, maybe you can listen to it while I take a bathroom break. Oh my lord. Yeah, wasn't that beautiful? Steve Johnson asks about the crowd. Well, I think it's all right. It's not like a Swedish crowd or a South American crowd, but when you're talking about American standards, I think it's a good crowd. But Paul tells them to loosen up a little bit more. Okay, soy mexicano, vas a poner el último concierto de Kiss. Oh, that's Spanish, I guess, or something. Mexico was something ultimate concert, Kiss concert. Okay, maybe he says that they played the ultimate concert in Mexico. Okay, Paul wants the crowd to scream, and they scream. It might be the one when he wants them to scream his name at the end so he can go out and see them. We'll see. Psycho Circus, okay. We don't have to go to the zoo. We have a Psycho Circus right here. Yeah! Oh, the flames. I actually enjoyed Psycho Circus, the single, when it came out in '98. But I struggled finding additional songs on the album that I enjoyed, and it was ultimately a disappointment. And later on we got to understand that Ace and Peter had little or nothing to do with the album. They played on Ace's song, Into the Void. And if you want to hear a good version of Into the Void, you go to Into the Void by Black Sabbath. That's a great song from the early albums. You're in the Psycho Circus. You're in the sun. Mm? Sorry, no hablo inglés. Sorry, jag pratar inte... sorry, I started talking Swedish. Sorry, I don't speak English. But I want to salute the rock and roll band. Thank you, Brian Hernandez. I think I got what you said. That I remember Paul saying stuff like this when he played South America. No hablo uno español muy bien, pero mi corazón es suyo. Something like that. Okay, is that... Adam says they're doing a partial Psycho Circus. Let's see. I don't remember. I remember they put some songs together when I saw them live. I don't remember. Okay, now it's the breakdown. The solo. They're showing the audience. They look happy. Real happy. I like this solo. When I first heard the album, I thought definitely this was a Ace Frehley solo. But it wasn't. Yeah, it's a great solo. Robert Indervis says they play Psycho Circus, then it goes into Eric's drum solo, and it ends with a reprise of 100,000 Years. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, the drum solo. I really don't get it. The thing he does with the towel and all that kind of stuff. I guess there are some lame parts to the show, but it's mainly because they need to rest. Okay, the big cats shoot up from the bottom of the stage with green lights on them. And actually the eyes are working. When I saw them live, one of the eyes on one of the cats didn't work. It looks kind of silly. So they fixed that at least. I mean, his drum kit looks awesome. Silver. I would like to have that drum kit. Yeah, a drum solo is a drum solo. And in Kiss, people talk about Peter Criss's solo on a live one being such a classic solo, but I don't know. And then they talk about Eric's Carr was such a pioneer using electronics in his solo, and I don't know, did that make that better than a real song? I don't know. But on the Hot in the Shade tour in 1990, I think they incorporated the lasers and stuff in his solo, so it became pretty cool. I think that's my favorite drum solo. It's actually from the No Makeup era, 1990, Hot in the Shade. So go and watch Eric Singer's... No, not Eric Singer. Eric Carr's drum solo from that era. That's pretty cool. This is just almost a waste of time. It's... I shouldn't say it's a waste of time. He's a real good drummer, of course, Eric Singer, but a drum solo, I don't know. Imagine if they could play some deep track instead of this, like this one. Let's see, something like that will be a whole lot cooler. Yeah, they're way too lazy to do that, or I guess they really need the breaks for the older guys, Paul and Gene. And if Paul and Gene can't be a part of it, it has to be a solo. What else could you do? You could bring on some clowns, bring on a painter in the middle of. It wouldn't work either. Even though they've tried that. At the kickoff of the Circus tour, they had some clowns and stuff as an opening act. And a few years back, they used a painter as an opening act. So they tried that as opening acts. Interviews, Robert says, get rid of the drum solo and guitar solo and add 3 cool songs. Yeah. I don't think they have the stamina. That's the problem. Pretty cool shot of Eric Singer and his drums levitating towards the ceiling. And on the video screens, there are a lot of black cat statues. Paul comes out and dances. Oh, it didn't look that cool. Yeah, and now it's 100,000 years. Eric's drum kit goes down again, and Paul will do the ending of 100,000 years, playing around with the microphone. And I don't know, is this the time where Gene and Tommy goes over the crowd? Yes. Now Gene and Tommy are starting levitating. Oh, the flames in this song is crazy. Oh, he hit the high note. All right, good. Ooh, ba-doo-da, yo. Ba-doo-da. How you doing, people? Yes, that's true, Gretz. Rock and Roll says, I'm hoping for some nostalgic end. The X Japan style. I don't know if you refer to the way they had a group performing Black Diamond on the tribute album. I think they were called X. An instrumental version of Black Diamond, which was beautiful. And of course, one of the few times they have had guest appearances was in Japan, with one of those acts that are big in Japan. Japanese, I don't remember his name, but he's a Kiss fan, and they did they do Black Diamond or something like that? It was early in the tour, so I don't really remember. But they had another guy on stage and did some different versions of the songs. But I think that's the only time during this tour. Previously, they've had Joe Perry on stage and the guitar player from Def Leppard, for example. Yeah, the Flames were the high point in that shtick. Oh yes, God of Thunder. One of my favorites. Along with War Machine, these are 2 of the heaviest Kiss songs. So he's going to split blood. This riff is such a great riff. And then the chorus. Got a thunder, rock and roll. The spell you're under will slowly rob you of your virgin soul. Yeah. So Gene is looking demonic. Green lights and smoke everywhere. And camera guys standing around. I don't know. What do you think is his best blood spitting he's ever done? I enjoy that one from, I think it's Detroit 75 or 76 that was included on Extreme Close-Up, you know, that long format video from 92. That's a great blood spitting act he does back then. And the slow motion blood spitting that was shown in the God Gave Rock and Roll video from 91. I think it's from it might be from the Destroyer tour. Might be Anaheim or something. When he, you know, the face goes like this from side to side and blood goes everywhere. But that one from, I think it's from Cobo Hall in 75. That looks real scary. Yeah, this is pretty cool as well, with all the lighting and let's see. Still works. Oh. Okay, the blood is coming out of his mouth, pouring down. Yeah. Comparing this with the solo he did in 85 on that Animalized Live Uncensored, quite different. I don't know what he tried to play there. He tried to be like Eddie Van Halen on bass, but it didn't really work out in 85. Yeah. So now we move on to the oh yeah. Is this the last time Gene Simmons spits blood? Incredible. Jesus Perez. ¿A qué hora el concierto es mame? ¿A qué hora tror jag? I think is which hour? What time? El concierto, the concert, es mame, maybe starts. When does the concert start? Well, it started a long time ago. Yeah, God of Thunder starts now. God of Thunder. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to hear this. This riff is so cool. And the whole production for this song is over the top. You know, with the Gene faces on the pods everywhere and so on. And he goes up to the ceiling. Yeah, this is perfection. This can't be topped. I challenge any band to do a cooler version of a song of this. Can't be done. Gene Simmons in all-out demon mode. With lights, explosions, fire. I mean, this is sad that this is the last time you'll be able to see this. When I saw them live on this tour, this is one of the highlights. For sure. Rob me of your virgin soul. Ted King, the gig halfway through yet? Yes, it is. And over here it's 4 a.m., so it's pretty late. And we're doing a podcast after this. We'll see if I can stay awake for that. So please join us at Kiss FAQ Podcast. We just celebrated our
500 episode. So it's me, a Canadian, and 2 Americans, and then hopefully Julian Gill, our fearless leader, will join us. He's actually at the concert now. Worth buying in still. You mean, Ted, do you mean if you should buy it now? Well, if it's $10, I would buy it now, but I wouldn't pay much more than that right now because we're getting pretty close to then, but I don't think you'll have more fun for those $10 than you will buying this stuff. So someone said it only costs $10 now, so I would buy it. It's cool. Well, the flames when he shouts "I" completely engulfs the stage. That's a cool video. They actually have a camera up in the rafters filming Gene and moving at the same time. That was kind of cool. The rain you're after will slowly rob you of your virgin soul. I would only like to hear Bob Ezrin's children. The sounds of Bob Ezrin's children is the only thing missing. That's on the studio version on Destroyer. Yeah. Steve asked me, how cold is it in Sweden tonight? Well, I live in the north of Sweden, so we have, I don't know if you do Fahrenheit, but over here we use Celsius, and it's about 20 minus Celsius. That's pretty cold. But if you're a Viking, you can deal with it. Okay, time for Paul's speech. I feel it's a bit slow lately during the speeches, if you compare it to previous tours. Now he has a red Ibanez. Yeah. Kind of hits you that it's the end of an era. Such an important part of my life and your lives as well. I guess if you're watching this, you have to be a big Kiss fan. So it's the end of a really important thing for us. Okay, now Paul is talking about when he went over here to see Elvis Presley, and then he's going to talk about I will in the future I will be playing there. So we all heard this, or not all of us, but the diehards. 77 here in Florida. I can't do Fahrenheit. I don't know how it works. Canada seems to be a whole lot warmer than over here. +3. I won't see plus in months. This is the worst months that just passed. November, December. Well, at least we have Christmas, so that's a bit of fun. January, that's not fun. February, things starts happening, and then it's okay. But we're going through the dark times. You know, it gets dark at 2:30 p.m. Then it's dark. So you go to work, it's dark, you work your ass off, and then when you go back, it's dark, so you don't get any light. So there's really a problem over here with depression and stuff like that during this period. some people just think it's cozy. They want to, huddle up inside, read a book, or watch a movie, or Netflix or something. Paul is killing time, talking about, well, stuff. But what about 38 in Wisconsin? Can you translate that into Celsius? 77 in South Florida. Okay, he wants them to shout his name. So now he's going to fly. I'm coming up there to see ya. Love gun. Doom. Whoa, cool filming from above when Paul goes over the audience. A camera follows him, like a bird perspective. And there he comes to his little stage, and there's a star on the stage, of course. When I saw them in Stockholm in 2000, I think it was 22 or something, I was just next to that stage, and I remember thinking, wow, he seems really small, Paul. When you see him in pictures and photos and on stage, he seems like larger than life. But when he landed there, just, like 2-3 meters from me, whoa, he looked small. And then he jumped around a whole lot. And the girl that I was with, she said, she knew that they were pretty old. She said, "Is that a stand-in for Paul? He seems very agile for a 70-year-old man." Yeah, he is. Adam Wesley, it's messed up. I saw Aerosmith in 04 with Kiss, and now they're both doing a farewell. It's kind of sad. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it sucks getting old. Okay, 3.3 Celsius. That's not very hot. Diegone Silveira. I saw Kiss 3 times in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and they were wonderful shows. Kiss will never die. Yeah, I'd like to see. Unfortunately, it's too late, but it would have been cool to see Kiss in South America because the crowds there are loco, crazy. Perry. Paul is in real life 6 foot tall, and he's very handsome. Yes, he is. Still, my God, he's 70 plus, and it's more handsome than most guys around. Still, I don't know what he did with his shoulders. The shoulders have always been perfect. I'd kill for those shoulders. I have okay shoulders, but Paul is playing the red Ibanez. There's a Canadian and an American flag at just under the ceiling. Some great shots of Paul at the scene from far away. So you can see all of the audience and Paul in the middle. I don't know how any band can top this. He looks the part. He still looks the part. He's dancing around on that little stage and lasers are moving around him. Cool necklace, cool guitar strap. Hell yeah. Adam Wesley, I'm honoring them by watching Detroit Rock City tonight. LOL. Yeah, that was a terrible movie. But it was still better than Phantom, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. That was released in 78. It's a TV movie. But I think at least Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park made some new fans, and I guess that was the goal. And later on they released a movie with Scooby-Doo, a cartoon, which of course attracted a lot of young fans. So that's an okay movie. You know, it's a children's movie, but it's okay. Kiss Meets Scooby-Doo, I think it's called. So Paul is doing the heart sign like this. I got a question, he says. They sure as hell get some cool shots when he's on this little stage and the audience is pretty close. So he's going to stay for another song. I think it's I Was Made for Loving You next. At least that's the way they did it last time I heard them. He just started with do do do, and then everyone knew it. Yeah. Do 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 do. The audience didn't get it. He said this is the biggest hit we ever had in the world, and they don't even start the do do do. If you'd said that in South America or Scandinavia, people would have gotten it, I think. Now he starts them off, and now they can sing do do do. Adam Wesley actually bought the Scooby-Doo film. Okay. I really love the way they play I Was Made for Loving You. It's like a heavier version of the studio version. And the first time I noticed that I liked the song was on Kiss Alive 3, when Eric Singer was behind the kit, and they made sort of a metal version of I Was Made for Loving You. And that still to this day is my favorite version of I Was Made from Alive 3. And I think they recorded that at a sound check. So there should be a recording without an audience. I would like to hear that. And when that would be the perfect studio version. Just remove that fake audience on Alive 3 and keep the rest. And he really belts it out on that version. Nowadays, it's a bit toned down, the vocals, of course, but I still think it sounds great, and it goes over so well with the audiences. At least it did when I saw them. And Gene always says he hates this song. Well, he should take a look at some of his own stuff. He has a lot of stinkers. That's way worse. Diogena Silveria says Kiss will live forever. Yeah, in some form I think they will. And they'll come up with new stuff. And I think they might sell the brand. Imagine if they would sell Kiss to Disney. What would happen? Films, miniseries, and merchandise, of course. Yeah, Adam says Gene's least favorite song. I don't really know why. I guess it's because he has to sing that high part. Do do do. Enough for you, baby. Can you get enough? If I recall correctly, I think Bruce did an interpretation of the solo that I really liked. It was a bit different. I think this is kind of weak, the way they play it. Both Ace and Tommy. Bruce did something else with the soul that was way cooler. Bruce Kulick is a great guitar player. We have an optimist here. I hope they end the show with an acoustic version of Dirty Living. Robert, once again. Yeah, that would be something. TGV says they are not selling the brand, they will license the brand while retaining creative rights. Okay, so we're closing in on the end of the show. If you guys aren't up too much after the show, it would be cool if you could join the Kiss FAQ podcast briefly and talk a little bit. We're starting a podcast, I guess, a quarter or half an hour after the show ends, somewhere around that. I was made for loving you, babe. I really like those shots from above, focusing down on Paul with all the audience around him. Yeah, that's a good version. Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. So now the lights go down and you see all the bracelets, what it's called, the things they have around their wrists, lighting up the audience. Okay, he's starting Black Diamond. Oh, that I didn't know. They didn't have that last time I saw them. So there's lights going up, straight up from the small stage, the small star that Paul is standing on. His small stage there. It looks really cool. So he'll start off Black Diamond. Sort of a guitar solo thing. Oh, those first chords of Black Diamond. Beautiful. Once again, Matthew Gallion, Kiss Online is an hour and a half away from an announcement. No idea what's coming, does anyone? No, we heard different versions of what people think, but nothing concrete. Remasters film, yep, we'll tune into Kiss FAQ for sure. MCJ Kyle, I'll be there for sure. Yeah, it will be cool to see you guys and hear your thoughts. This heavy metal Black Diamond is kind of cool. I remember the first time I really noticed that was a bootleg I got from Tokyo 95 with an awesome version of Black Diamond. And I remember Eric Singer singing the hell out of that song back then. And he still has the pipes. Black Diamond. Now I want the audience to sing the intro to Black Diamond. Out on the street. Out on the streets for a living. Sing together, which is all that we got. Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. Thumb. Three, four. This probably, I mean, if you would put together 100 Kiss fans and they would vote for their favorite song, I think this would be maybe number one. Paul is playing around on his way back, putting his shoe close to the audience. He managed to look so cool when he go with the zip line. Let's hear Eric's vocals. First time tonight. Yeah, they sound good. Ooh, Black Diamond. Sing it in Swedish. Svart diamant. That's Black Diamond. Svart. And in German, schwarze. We're pretty close at times in words. Robert says Black Diamond is absolutely the best Kiss song ever. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. It's a great song. I love the way Eric sings it. I wonder what Eric will do after Kiss. I mean, he still has a lot of mileage on him to go, He could play in another band, a different band, and bring it. G and Paul are pretty much done, and Tommy has said that he would like to focus on other parts of the business. I can see him becoming sort of a manager. But Eric, he's just a drummer. I mean, he doesn't write songs. I don't think he's like a leader. He's a drummer. So maybe he could join a cool band like Whitesnake or I don't know, one of those classic acts. Like Mickey D did. Mickey D from Motorhead. He landed the gig in Scorpions. I think Eric could... Or maybe he goes back to Alice Cooper. He played with Alice Cooper for quite a while. Diamond. BB says, was hoping they would at least come out at the end for a bow with all surviving members. Yeah, even Vinny. That's what should happen, but yeah, probably not. No, it won't happen, but I hear you. I think we all would enjoy that or appreciate that. I don't really get Jack Jones' question here. Are you go to live streaming the end of the road tour? I don't get that question. And now it's the coda at the end of Black Diamond. Gene looks so cool. The band looks great. And now we have the swirling sparkles going behind Eric. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, that's a great shot. From way back, they film all of the stage with the swirling sparkles. So I guess only the encores are left now, and then it's over. Okay, someone has translated with Google Translate Black Diamond lyrics to Swedish. It's pretty close. Pictures only begun is translated to the photo has only begun. Other than that, it's pretty okay. Very good, Artogeto. Okay, they're finishing off Black Diamond now. And the stage goes completely black. You can hear the audience shouting for more. Let's see if they can start the classic chant, or if they have forgotten that in New York. We want Kiss. No, they have forgotten it. They're just, woo! Oh, that's terrible. It should be, we won't kiss. We won't kiss. Oh. They are just hollering. Well, at least they're not quiet. I can't show anything of the concert because then they will close down the live stream. Oh. Beth. Okay. I'm sure you know by now, but Eric isn't playing shit on this song. But he sure as hell can sing it. So there's actually 3 different versions of Beth. You have the original by Peter Criss. Then there's a version from Smashes, Thrashes and Hits with Eric Carr. And now there's this version with Eric Singer. I don't know which one you prefer, but I guess it's hard to compete against the original, but this is a good version. Yeah, Patty says you can see the entire show on YouTube. That's always the thing with these stream events. They eventually end up on YouTube. But maybe not in the same quality and so on. I've actually watched Ace Frehley's video a few times. I like that 10,000 volt song he did last week. Check it out. It'll be interesting to see what the album is like. I think it'll drop in a. Was it in December? Maybe. Well, can't remember. Does Eric play the piano? No, he doesn't. And not many artists do when they have a piano on stage. So, but he's quite good at faking it. And I don't know, do you prefer the piano or just sitting on a stool with the I think this looks a bit more I like this version with a real piano in front of him, even though it doesn't play a lick. I haven't seen that before. Paul is handing out drumsticks. Eric. So they're thanking the audience. Paul is pointing towards Gene and wanting them to clap their hands. So now, I don't know, the encore, Rock and Roll All Night, is there any other song that they played during the encore? I can't really remember. Let's see if Gene is shedding a tear. No. He seems to be in good spirits. Tommy seems a bit affected, actually. Paul just seems happy. Gene is saluting the crowd. Okay. And there's the bow. And the additional photo. Okay, Do You Love Me says, Project Gemini says that they do You Love Me? Robert, Eric is actually playing the piano. Gene is off stage playing the violin with Paul on cello, or do you say cello? And Tommy playing the bassoon. Yeah. You don't want to go home yet, do you? Well, I actually have to do a podcast after this. And let's see now. The time is, oh my lord, it's 5, almost 5 a.m. And then a podcast on this, it'll at least take an hour. Well, I don't know how it will. Monday will be pretty tough. And Paul says, we will always remember you and love you. And Gene seems a little bit affected. He's faking that he's crying, but I don't think the tears are too far away for him. Okay, song from Destroyer, Mark. I don't really get it. Why do they Do You Love Me as an encore? It's actually a deep track of destroyer. But do you love me? Well, it's simple, and I know it's Eric Singer's favorite song, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'll face, they could still do Mr. Speed. Yeah. Gene is playing a bright red axe bass. I prefer the original. Okay, now the balloons are coming. I have one of those balloons since the last time I saw them. The Paul Stanley balloon. And the Masquerade. Stereos. Cool shot from above with the balloons bouncing around in the audience. Paul is kicking the balloons off the stage. A lot of colors on the balloons. Yellow and pink and orange. When I saw them, all the balloons were white, except a few that were yellow. Pink, orange, white seems to be the colors of the balloons. Okay, they are showing the audience. The audience seem real happy. Of course. How can you be anything than happy being at a concert with the greatest band ever? Even though they're way past the prime, still rocking it. Do you love me? Do you love me? And now the old footage can be seen on the big screens. I'm sure a lot of fans will be affected. And Gene is drooling. Well, 70 plus man drooling isn't a cool thing. Last concert I was at, the guy next to me, he had been to quite a few concerts, and every balloon that came his way, he captured it and then he released the air immediately and put it in his pocket. I don't know how many balloons he grabbed and put in his pocket. Most people just bounced them off, but he picked everyone. I remember that. He was a Norwegian. Maybe that has something to do with it. You got a lot of pics as well, I remember. And then a little girl, no, not a little girl, a young woman, I would say, were looking for pics. And he had like 20 pics. He wouldn't give her a single one. So I had 5, so I had to give her one of them. I had 2 Paul pics, so I gave her one, and she was very thankful. Okay, that's now Rock and Roll Night starts. This is the final song of the final tour of Kiss's final show. Yeah, Robert says in 2010 they played Beth live with acoustic guitars. I remember that. That was cool. Okay, Paul received some roses from the audience. He holds them up. Confetti all over the place. Actually, when they played in Sweden, they didn't use confetti the last time around. That was a bit of a letdown, but yeah. Crazy amount of confetti. I wonder how it feels for Paul and Gene right at this moment. Or are they so focused that they can't really take it in? This is the final chords. Must be strange. Paul goes over to Gene and looks at him. Only Eric sings the chorus now. I wonder if Gene can't sing anymore. You can only hear Eric at the chorus. On the chorus. Okay, Gene is up on his platform again. I don't think the mics are working for Gene and Tommy on the platforms. But you sure as hell can hear his bass, Gene's bass. Okay, now they want me to buy the limited edition golden ticket to celebrate this magical night. I think I'll pass. The limited edition golden ticket, yeah. It's close to the end, you guys. Clap your hands. Clap your hands, little bit, a little louder. Okay. Wanna rock and roll all night. Wanna rock and roll all night. Wanna rock and roll all night. Party every day. Wanna rock and roll all night. Party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night. Wanna rock and roll all night. Wanna rock and roll all night. And party every day. Wanna rock and roll all night. Nu är det slut! It's done! Nu ska... Let's smash the guitar! Yeah! Okay, Paul is smashing the guitar. It's the end, boys and girls. It's the end. The final curtain. I missed that one. It's them, boys and girls. It's them. Oh. Okay, they're really close to the end now, so the stage is full with smoke. You can't even see the members. Just a big cloud of smoke. Oh, I wonder if it was supposed to be that much smoke. It's just a big cloud of smoke, and then it ends. And then God Gave Rock and Roll to You starts. Okay, that's it, guys.